All right, 215-592-9494 to hop in. Hugh, good night for the Phillies last night. A win. Ranger Suarez looks excellent to start this season. This might be the year. And we talked to JT in spring training where he said, Ranger looks great. He was phenomenal last night. But the real story last night, along with the good pitching, when the pitching's been good almost every night, is the power, the slug. It arrived last night. March doing what he does. Bohm with his first one of the year. Bryson Stott chipped in. Hugh, the bats, the power finally showed up last night.
Yeah, man, and it's ironic that it showed up at the time that it did, especially when you had that back and forth that Howard had with Topper. Now, and it's funny because when Howard asked some really good questions and Topper didn't have an answer, he just said, he thinks they're going to hit. And they came out and they did their thing.
Let's hear that. Last night before the game, and, Topper once in a while, he kind of calls a shot. Howard and Topper going back and forth about their offense. They have to do some extra things to get things going. And here it was, Topper just kind of calling a shot for last night.
Rob, you say the team is going to slug. You scored 2 earned runs yesterday. What can the manager do to try to help the situation to score runs? 16 straight singles without an extra base hit is not going to get it done. What can you do?
Just keep running them out there because we're going to slug. And if you don't think we're going to slug, you ain't watching the games.
I think you're going to slug, but do you do it enough? The regular season is fine. You're going to make the playoffs. Let's be honest.
I don't know that.
Well, I do. All right.
But you don't know we're going to slug.
No. Okay. I know you're going to slug at times. Yeah. It's just, don't you have to generate runs when you're not hitting them?
Sometimes, and we're, 4th in stolen bases. But we've been picked off a few times. So, and you can hit and run. We had that conversation earlier. You can do some other things. But, this team is built to slug. So we're waiting on it. And it's coming.
Raj.
And they didn't have to wait long. A few hours later, 3 home runs left the park. Hugh, it's always fun when Topper and Howard go back and forth. It's almost like a comedy. It's almost like Abbott and Costello. It's a comedy routine with those two. And everyone's laughing in the background. But he was right. I understand Howard's point that if they're not scoring, they're not hitting home runs. They tend
it's valid. Everything was valid.
Everything
he asked was valid.
But Topper's also valid that this is the way the team is built. Like, it's almost like in football, if you have a team built to throw the ball, well, you're not going to start running it 40 times a game, right? Mm-hmm. This is who they are, and Topper, he kind of called a shot last night. The home runs will come, and they came.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? It's one of those things where I respect everyone's opinion about, everything that we talk about, especially football. But there are some things that when I try to explain it to people, you're not going to understand because you're not in it. You're not going to understand it because you haven't been a part of it. And I say that with all due respect, but it's the truth. And that's why Topper said it the way that he said it yesterday, because he knows this team intimately. He's been with these guys. He's been the spring training with them and everything. And no matter how much you think you know about the game, and there's a lot of people out there that know a lot about the game, he's with them every day. And so that's why he has the confidence and he has the vision to see and know that eventually they're going to do it because he sees them every day.
He does. And here's the other thing I think we need to do as a fan base. We need to trust Rob Thomson.
Good luck with that.
Well, no, I think we do. And listen, do I think Rob Thomson is perfect? But no manager is. No, I don't think he's perfect. But he's a darn good manager who's had a lot of success since he took over here almost 2 full years ago. Rob Thomson is really good at this. He understands this team. He is really great in the regular season with the ups and the downs and keeping these guys steady. And I hear it a lot. Yesterday we took a call, and I think it was tongue-in-cheek, just kind of having fun, with Fire Topper, right? I don't think it was really meant in the literal sense, but that, it was said yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And, a couple weeks ago when the season started, I think it was like the first week or so of the season, Jack and Ike were talking about, why we should trust the Phillies. And Jack made a point that we have one of the best managers in baseball. And that bothered people. I remember listening on the ride home, people were like, what? One of the best managers in baseball? When the reality is, since Rob Thomson took over, the Phillies have been one of the best teams in baseball. He has a .566 winning percentage. They were terrible when he got here, and then they went on a great run from June on, in 2022, made the World Series. And, we go back, even yesterday, I think we had a call about, leaving Wheeler in or not leaving Wheeler in Game 6 of the World Series. Does anyone remember how undermanned the Phillies were in that World Series? I think we lost our compass because they got up 2-1. They had all those home runs in Game 3. Seriously. And I wanted them to win just as much as everybody else. The Phillies weren't as good as the Astros in 2022. Rob Thomson didn't blow that series. The Astros had 11 good pitchers.
Yeah, they had some deep pitches.
Yeah, we had 4. I mean, like that series was the Astros to win. They were the better team. Phillies had a shot, but they were like Topper didn't blow that series. You go to last year. Yes, the Diamondbacks thing stings because they should have won that series. But is it Rob Thompson's fault that Trey Turner stopped hitting again?
Yeah, the bats went cold.
Castellanos stopped hitting again?
Bats went cold.
I trust Rob Thompson. I trust him during the regular season. He's going to get the most out of this baseball team. It's not his fault when highly paid players stop hitting. He already got proactive this year and moved Marsh up, and it's had paid dividends 2 days in a row. I just think we need to trust Rob Thompson. I agree with Jack said a couple days ago. We have one of the better managers in baseball. Is he Bruce Bochy? No. Is he going to the Hall of Fame? No, probably not. But he's good, and the Phillies have a lot of success for Rob Thompson. I trust Topper. I mean, like, he's got a feel for now almost 2 full years with this group. He kind of feels the ebbs and flows of what they need, what they don't need. He's good at this, and I give him credit for one thing. The Marsh thing, he's been right. 2 days in a row, he moved him a little bit up, and he's gotten a lot of production.
Yeah, and like I said, he's one of those guys, man, that he believes in his guys, and I think that goes far for them to trust him and believe in him and go out there and do what they did for him. It's one of those things, man, where it's hard to explain, but I think this team is built just the exact way that he said it is. They're going to hit. It just takes a little time for them to get going. I don't know what it is. Is it about the way that they train or approach the season? But they tend to get off to a slow start, and that's a fact. But at the same time, I'm not about to sit here and try to chastise fans for being emotionally on an emotional roller coaster when it comes to this team.
No, I mean that's fine. I mean, everyone should have emotions. It's the team we love. But
Yeah.
the reality is you should trust Rob Thompson. If you don't, I think you're not seeing the real picture here. 215-592-9494. Do you trust Topper? I mean, like, when you think about the Phillies and this season and his time here so far, do you just trust this guy? I do. I didn't trust Joe Girardi here. Joe Girardi had a better track record, obviously, than Rob Thompson. Girardi had won a World Series. But just watching Girardi day to day, he was, he just seemed on edge all the time. I don't think that was good for the team. We've seen managers here that are untrustworthy. Gabe was almost like a baseball experiment. He was trying different things, and the team wasn't ready anyway for the most part when he was here. You go back to different guys we've had. Certain managers you trust, certain managers don't. I trust Rob Thompson. I think he's going to get this team to reach its level. And we do this thing every day where we're like the temperature of the team, the temperature of how we feel about certain players. And I'm very reactionary on players because players go up and down, right? Like they have good years, the bad years, injuries. I don't feel great about Johan Rojas. You know that. I have some, a certain level of concern now that Bryce Harper's not feeling right because he doesn't look right.
Yeah, he looks like he has tidy back.
He does. I have a lot of belief in that Zach Wheeler's a great pitcher and that they have a really good pitching staff. So I'll go up and down on players and all the time. But for the most part, coaches, they show you who they are. And I think Rob Thompson has shown us enough in 2 years that we should trust this guy. 215-592-9494. We'll start with the Phils. We'll get to a lot of Sixers today. And, of course, a try-day.